All right. So, I'm going to start a YouTube channel just dedicated to giving out company information. Starting this week, it's just going to be weekly. I'm going to upload one video per week where I'm just going to talk about any important information that I think you guys should know, study materials, and whatnot. It's mainly going to be used to make studying less boring because it seems like nobody wants to actually read the study materials. So I'm going to attempt to just make videos for you guys in the morning. You can just put it on, listen to it. Hopefully on Tuesdays, you just put it on, you listen to it. Gives you all the information that you need. And then at the end of the week, you can take the tests that are going to be in the schedule or in your email, because I am going to be emailing those to you guys every single time. So, due to how do I put this? Due to poor performance across the board relating to the ants, I thought it would be best that we did another ant review. This time around, I've changed the tests so you guys can take the multiple choice quizzes and it will give you your score at the end and then also show you what the correct answer is, which is going to probably be significantly more helpful for you guys to actually figure out what you did wrong and what you need to work on. And you'll actually be benefiting from the information because you will learn more rather than you just not knowing which ones you got incorrect. And then also grading each individual quiz was exceptionally difficult and takes a lot more time than you would think. So we're just going to be doing the review of the ants that we already talked about. So I have here just some information that I want to read to you guys. Just listen in. Feel free to rewind it, speed it up, whatever you want to do. But we're just going to do a basic overview of Carpenter ants, Odorous house ants, and Argentine ants. Just basic review and helpful information. So, today we're diving deep into the fascinating and sometimes frustrating world of ants, specifically Carpenter ants and Odorous house ants. We'll be answering some key questions about their behavior, diet, and ecological roles while busting some myths along the way. Let's get right into it. So, let's start with Carpenter ants. These ants are the giants of the ant world, measuring between 6 and 12 millimeters, queens reaching up to 20 millimeters. They're easily recognized by their heart-shaped heads, smooth thorax, and massive mandibles. So, here's a key question. What is the primary material that carpenter ants hollow out for their nests? Well, that would be wood. Carpenter ants do not eat wood, unlike termites. Instead, they hollow it out and create tunnels and galleries. They particularly prefer damp or decayed wood, making leaky areas in homes a prime target. Another fun fact about carpenter ants is they can forage up to 100 meters from their nest. So that's a pretty big distance. For scale, that's the equivalent of a human being traveling an entire football field. And obviously, like most ants, they leave behind a pheromone trail to guide the rest of the colony to the food source. Next, we have the odorous house ants. They're much smaller than the carpenter ant. Carpenter ants are really big. Odorous house ants are about 2.4 to 3.3 millimeters in length, and they're known for their love of sugary substances like honeydew and syrup. But what makes them truly unique? If you crush one, they smell like a coconut-like rotten odor, hence the name. So, the question, which ant emits a coconut-like odor when crushed? That would be the odorous house ant. The scientific name for these ants is the Taponoma sicily. I don't know if I'm saying that correct. I probably should have checked, but it's okay. And they're the most common ants found inside of homes. They thrive in moist, shaded areas, and if disturbed, they can quickly relocate their colony to a new site. So they're highly adaptive. Both carpenter ants and odorous house ants rely heavily on pheromones to communicate. This is also true with pretty much all ant species as well. They use chemical trails to mark their paths to food to coordinate with colony activities. So, if you're wondering which species of ant in specific uses pheromones for trail marking, that would be all of them. They all do that. So, it is not just one of the ant types that do that. So, carpenter ants play a huge role in wood recycling, breaking down dead and decaying wood and return nutrients to the soil. Meanwhile, odorous house ants are scavengers, helping to clean up organic material and controlling smaller insect populations. So, how do carpenter ants differ from termites when relating to wood damage? Well, the answer is that the carpenter ants, they hollow out the wood to live inside of it. Termites, they actually eat the wood. And the small wood dust shavings that are left behind after a carpenter ant hollows out wood is called frass. So, here's a few fun facts. Carpenter ant queens can live up to 7 years, making them long-lived compared to other insects. Odorous house ants can complete a food trail in just 30 seconds, so highly efficient. Carpenter ant colonies can have up to 50,000 individuals, and they sometimes form satellite colonies to expand their territory. Now, the idea of forming satellite colonies is very common amongst the ant species. Not all ants, but it is common, especially with the ant species that have large populations, like Argentine ants are another ant species that also form satellite colonies. But carpenter ants are more known for that because carpenter ants have a strong response system when it comes to them being threatened. So if they feel like the colony is being threatened, they are very quick to disperse and create a new colony, which is why when you treat for carpenter ants, we're probably never going to actually encounter carpenter ants. But when you do treat for carpenter ants, it is very important to use bait and not spray. So temperate, suspend, stuff like that, really, really bad. All that's going to do is cause the carpenter ants to start a new colony somewhere else and regain their numbers and come back even stronger. So let's do a quick rapid fire Q&A. What do carpenter ants leave behind as a sign of infestation? Which this would be those little wood dust shavings that you see. Give you guys like four seconds to think about that. Frass. The answer is frass. What substance do odorous house ants prefer as food? This is common amongst most ants that invade homes. Typically, it's sugary substances. What is the reproductive process where ants establish new colonies called? This would be called budding. When do carpenter ants engage in nuptial flights? This would be spring and summer. So, if you're wondering what that is, it is essentially a reproduction process that is directly tied to flying ants, or the ants that fly around, the winged ants. Let's see. So, that's just basic information relating to the carpenter ant and the odorous house ant. With that information, you guys should be able to take the upcoming quiz and perform well. So yeah, obviously the YouTube channel is going to be significantly improved over time. This is just the first episode. I just wanted to give it a quick attempt, quick try, see how it goes, see how it feels. But hopefully we'll get a nice intro going, get some theme music, maybe get it maybe a little bit more entertaining, maybe start doing this live in the mornings. But yeah, for now, enjoy the information. Take your quizzes. I've already emailed them all to you guys. Make sure you guys are turning in your paperwork. And until then, I'll see y'all.